afternoon. I hope this video finds you well, or as well as can be expected. I'm not having a too bad day today, so that's good for the first official video of Friends with Food again. I'm Julia, and as you might know by now, I have chronic pancreatitis, and I also have a internal morphine pain pump which messes with my head. Makes me very forgetful, brain fog, forget what I'm saying totally sometimes. Hopefully not too much in these videos, but it's going to happen. It is going to happen. But my videos are all about keeping it real, totally keeping it real. I mean, if you could see, I've got my slippers on, but you know, it is what it is, isn't it? But I just want to feel comfortable and try and do these videos as me and try and be as relaxed as possible. I'm sure as I go on I'll get better, but like I say, for me it's all about keeping it real in my kitchen. No editing, no all the expensive stuff. Well, everyone's doing everything for this for free. Just trying to help people with digestive issues, pancreatitis, IBS, Crohn's, anything, or just a delicate tummy, really. But this whole idea started, but obviously it started with bananas, hence why, that's the only reason why there's a big thing about bananas on the site and everything, because it just seems quite apt to have them on. So I don't want anyone to watch it or look at it and think, oh, I don't like bananas, it's not going to work for me, because it's not all about bananas. This recipe is bananas. But most of the recipes aren't. The next recipe is a monkfish skewer dish. But because this is the dish that started it all off, where I did this recipe and found that my stomach could handle it and take it, and it gave me a different flavour and a different chance to eat something different, because my safe foods is so small. So it just seems so apt that I started with this, which is so simple, it's unbelievable. I'm going to show you two ways of doing it, but the first way is just so simple, it really is unbelievable. So the first one is basically a banana milkshake, but with added nutrients that you need. So this is my favourite new buy, which is my blender straight juicer, as well as my air fryer. They're like family to me. And I'm just seeing my Whipple warrior tattoo there for my Whipple operation that I had, my pancreas. Anyway, see, going off on a tangent. So we have my juicer, and we have a cup of bananas, milk, vanilla essence and oats. Simple as. I can make this in 2 minutes, and quite often I'll make it for the next morning for breakfast. So I'll make it at night, because these are quite noisy, and if my flatmate's in bed, and I'll put it in the fridge and I'll have it next morning. But if you're going to do that, just be aware that it does get a little bit thicker overnight. So don't worry if it seems a bit thin at first. So it literally is. Let's unscrew this here. Now these might look a bit dodgy to you, but these are what we want. The green bananas, we don't want them. We don't want them. We want these ones. These have got so much more flavour to them when they're like this, really ripe, and they're softer. And for cooking, this is how they should be. Not green. That's all. So basically, we're going to open the banana the proper way, which is this end. This is how monkeys open bananas. Humans tend not to, and it's so much easier. And you've got little bits like that. Great. Seriously, great. And any of the stringy bits that you get, put them in. The only thing you're not going to be putting in here is the skin. So we're going to chop this up nice and quickly into this fantastic beaker type thing. makeshift bin over there. 1 banana in. And then because we're doing the milkshake version, we're going to do 1 cup of oats. I've only just transferred the oats from the normal packet into this, and I had a feeling I might be spinning it a little bit. So you just want 1 cup of oats that you add into here, and still spinning. Then roughly ½ teaspoon of vanilla essence, but I just, it was a quick squirt like that in there, give it a little bit more flavour. And then for the milkshake version of this, 2 cups of milk. This is going to be the fun bit. Wait, yes. 2 cups of milk. Now you can alter these to whatever your own preference is. Once you've tried it, you might think, oh, I have a little bit more oats in there, or I'll have more milk, or, you know, whatever your preference is. But the important thing with this is protein, being breakfast. So this is going to sound very strange. If you have no protein powder, which I do have, what you want to put in here is 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese. Now, I can hear everybody going, and it doesn't even matter if you don't like cheese in general, because you will not taste it. I promise you that. You will not taste it. So you put 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese in here. Now, me personally, when I started doing it with cottage cheese, I couldn't taste it, but I found that I can eat cottage cheese with, say, rice cakes, but I can't eat cottage cheese mixed together with this. So I'm going to put in one of my protein powders, which I forgot to bring up. So it's just over here. I will be back. So I have my protein powder. So this is going to be put in the fridge for my breakfast tomorrow. And add my protein powder to it there. Then, oh, good shot. And then just whack the lid back on there. Lid back on there. Let's plug in the fantastic little contraption. Ignore the mess, please. And here we go. If you want it really, really, really smooth, then just keep going. Give it another blast or 2. So basically, there you have, excuse me, a delicious, delicious milkshake. Excuse me again. Got my lid and my delicious milkshake, and then you get your little lid, pop it on, check that is put on properly, because from experience I can tell you that in the morning the last thing you want when you take this out of the fridge, and like I say it's thicker, so you want to give it a good old shake, is to give it a good old shake and realise you haven't put this down properly. And and I ended up with a bit of a mess. The annoying thing was I didn't have a full milkshake. But so yeah, so you put that in the fridge, or you can obviously have it now or whenever you're doing it. But you can, and it I'd say it loses the tiniest bit of flavour overnight. It does look a little browner, but there's nothing wrong with this the next morning. So you've just prepared a fantastic breakfast full of nutrients and fibre and protein and, you know, potassium for your breakfast. And if you're on a rush in the morning, or you just don't like thinking about breakfast or doing breakfast in the morning, this is just perfect, absolutely perfect. So, and also if you have got pancreatitis and you're coming out of a flare or something like that, you could even leave out the oats or put less oats or build the oats up as you go. You know, when you can have fluids and you're coming out of a flare. So that's one way of doing it, which I love. I'm not going to clear this mess up, but I am going to just quickly run some water over this. Fantastic, look at that. So clean already. That's all it takes. So now we're going to do the quick other version of it, which is a cold banana porridge. But it's not porridge. It's made with oats, but it's not porridge at all. And I think this is absolutely delicious. So again, we're just going to cut a banana in there. It's basically the same recipe, just with one tiny difference. And what a difference it makes to the dish. So we've got banana in there. Oh, what a shot. And then, I'll quickly dry this cup out a little bit with the oats. Once you've done this a few times, either of them, you won't need a cup at all. This is just for your sake, really. You can just bish bosh bash, you know, done. You will not need that at all. I'm not used to using a cup. And then pop your vanilla essence in. Now, protein, it depends on when you're having it, for me. If I'm having it for dinner later, I won't have as much protein. If it's for breakfast or lunch, I'll put the protein in there. But for this example, I'm going to leave it without the protein or the cottage cheese. And then we're going to go 2 cups of oats this time. Dos copa. No hablo español, sí. No. Sad thing is that when I got my pain pump and it kept having to be up to nuts, I lost so much of my Spanish. So from being nearly fluent, I've now gone to pidgin Spanish because of medication and drugs, basically. Legal drugs. Which is quite sad. So we have maybe not quite 2 cups in there. And then I'm just going to pop that there. And then 1 cup of milk. So all you're doing is swapping them over from two milks and 1 oats to 2 oats and 1 milk. So you've got all that there. See, I'm getting myself confused now about what's where and who's doing what and what I'm saying, who I am, what I'm doing. So this strawberry cheesecake I'm making, I wish there was an alternative to strawberry cheesecake. I'm going to make that my mission, to find a safe strawberry cheesecake. Yes, yes, over time. Now that might need a little bit more milk, I'm thinking, definitely. So it was the oats, too much oats. So I'm going to add basically the end of this carton of milk, which isn't a lot at all. But like I said, what you do is trial and error. Every day's a school day, especially with things like pancreatitis. So let's just see how this one goes. that's looking probably exactly how it should be. I'll have a look at this. Just have a little check. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. And the good thing with this one is these aren't actually sharp to touch. And I like that because with me and my morphine adult brain, I'll probably end up slicing myself open. Now my favourite bowl, as you will learn, my coconut bowl. Just pour this into here. Not into my coconut bowl, obviously. You see the thickness of that coming out of there now. I'm going to stop there because you don't want too much. It's very, very filling, and also it is quite heavy. So I'll be completely honest, when I eat this now, I cut mine down to about here. But you'll learn that as you try it. But if you do try this, I mean, again, it thickens up with time. If you left this on, even on the side for an extra half an hour, it would go thicker. So this is something you wouldn't really want to leave too long, but it is so tasty. I believe, anyway. Excuse me for a second. That is, to me, when I spoke before, if you've heard me speak about this, about using the word delicious again, which I hadn't used in years, this was actually the bowl, the recipe, and it is just so simple. And then you've got two recipes out of basically the same thing. You just alter the amount of oats and milk you have. And you could also, if you don't want vanilla essence in it, you know, you can try it without it. But the vanilla essence just gives it that little bit more depth, I think. It doesn't turn it into a vanilla tasting banana. It just turns it into a lovely, delicious tasting lunch. That's what I usually have it for, is lunch. I've actually have it for dinner as well sometimes. But if I have it for dinner, I definitely have a lot less because of the time of night it is and everything. But again, you have to find out what works for you. So work out what works for you in your stomach before you work out what works for you in your taste buds. Unfortunately, that's what we face. Some of us. Most people would say it the other way around, but unfortunately we can't. So yes, getting thicker now as well. It's just delicious, absolutely delicious. So yeah, this basically, have some more, sir, is where it all started. The whole idea, the whole concept of basically trying to help people. Well, I've always wanted to try and do something, but to try and help people, but I just didn't have a clue what. And then it just started from this dish. So I do hope you try it. Yes, that is so simple. Put it in the fridge. That is also so simple, but they taste obviously the same, but they taste different. It's so hard to explain unless you try it. So go for it. Good luck. And I'll see you soon, maybe for monkfish dish. Thanks for listening and watching. And I'm sorry if I ruined your day, but tough. Thanks guys. Bye.